welcome back to Nurse Studio Podcast, the podcast where we keep it real about life inside and outside the healthcare. Today's guest is someone who's officially made it to the doctor status. Meet Zhenya, 30 years old, a big thinker, a passionate cook, and a newly qualified foundation year on one doctor. Zhenya, welcome to the studio.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a privilege.
Oh, privilege. Thank you. So Zhenya was so kind, actually, and she's got me a made gift, and I am obsessed. I'm going to show it to everyone. I'm going to post it everywhere. So basically is like a post holder, photos holder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it says on here with two little legs. How cute is this? Is this to hold something?
It can do, yeah. It's like a Jellycat inspired kind of photo holder. So yeah.
Oh my god, I love
You
it.
can probably rest your phone on it.
Can you see?
It should be strong enough.
So cute. Yes.
Mm.
But then I'll take on here.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Well, we'll debate this after the podcast. Right. So for everyone that doesn't know you,
Yeah.
Who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and who's Zhenya outside the world of medicine.
That's difficult because my life has been medicine for so long. So I just finished medical school. I just qualified. I am. Are you okay?
I lost my little.
Oh no! Not again.
Is it just now? I'm sorry. What? Why? I don't know if this.
Do you want to start that again? Hang on. Let's look for it and then.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Where did it go?
Good question.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, found.
Okay.
Thank you. Zhenya saving lives once again.
You can't
One
microphone at a time. Yeah.
Right, I don't think I will cut this bit
No.
because life is
Go on,
so
then.
natural. Life is this failure and success.
Yeah, this is what the NHS is about, and healthcare resilience. You see, yeah.
So yeah, sorry.
That's
for
okay.
this
No problem at all. I've forgotten what I was saying. So I just qualified for medical school. I'm sure we'll get onto it, but obviously medical school takes up a lot of your time and a lot of your effort. Many days it's all you think about. But I think it's really important to keep something outside. So outside of medicine, I like comedy. I like writing comedy. I'm performing in like sketch shows. I do, yeah.
You perform?
Yeah, I used to, not so much anymore, but yeah. I like reading. I like to cook, as you said. I love to bake. What else? I love to ice skate. So I founded the Ice Skating Society at my university. Yeah, lots of things, I guess.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very hard, but yeah.
No, well, I can't do it, so.
Oh, it's easy.
Most people can't do it.
I'm sure you'll be fine with
legs.
practice. Yeah. Well, if you break a leg, then I can heal it for you, so it's okay.
Are you going to be that type of doctor?
No, hopefully not. No.
Right.
No. I want to be a pediatric anaesthetist, so putting kids to sleep. Yeah.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
I thought you had to do general anesthesia, like for everyone.
Yeah, you do at first, and then you do more and more kids, and just kind of by the end, you do only children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. That we answered a lot of questions with one.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for you, actually.
Oh, good.
So,
and for you as well. Have you told everyone your news?
Not really.
You should.
Now it's the time.
Yes.
So basically, I've just passed my dissertation. So I've got approximately 14 shifts left. When this video is released, I should be a newly qualified nurse. Yeah! So we can celebrate now.
Yes.
Because this is going to be in the future.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So excited. Well, I'm going to have a pineapple. So we're getting better on this. The production has got this.
The production value is increasing with every single episode.
Yes.
You can tell. Yeah.
So, how did you get into the medical school? How did that happen?
So I had a bit of a, I would say, maybe unconventional route.
Mhm.
I went to sixth form and I didn't do very well, which happens. And instead of, so I wouldn't have been able to get into medical school with the grades that I had then.
Mhm.
So I went to work for the hospital that we both worked for. And then we met many years later. But I started off at 19 working in our local hospital. And then I did what's called
Really?
yeah,
Started at 19?
yeah. Straight
In the
after,
department?
not where we work at the moment, but in a different one. So
Right.
I was in the ICU.
Mhm.
And then now, obviously, we both work in theatres. Am I allowed
Mhm.
to say that?
Yeah.
Yes. And then, yeah, I did a foundation year. So a foundation year is like an extra year where you are supposed to get up to speed with the level that you're supposed to be at for medical school. And I got lucky that I was accepted onto it. It was I mean, I can say because I'm not there anymore. It was the one at the College of West Anglia in King's Lynn. So I spent a year in King's Lynn, which is not the best place, as anyone who's been there will say. But it was important because after that, I got onto the medical program at George's, which is where I went to university, St George's in Tooting.
Please
And
sponsor.
yes, don't sponsor them. George's have done a merger. They're no longer called St George's University of London. They're now called City St George's.
Right.
So they have loads of money. No one needs to sponsor them in case anyone watching wants to.
No, they have to sponsor us.
Oh yes, they have to sponsor here because they have so much extra money now.
We're advertising.
Yes. Yeah, free PR for George's medicine. And so yeah, that's how I got into medical school.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what was the journey like for you, and what made you be like, no, I definitely want to be a doctor?
Yeah. Sorry, I laugh because everyone asks this and it's not, I think, maybe what people are expecting. So I don't have a story like someone in my family died and it made me want to like save the world. I don't have a story like that. Even though I do want to help people, obviously, as I'm sure you do as well. So I started when I was about 15. I really liked watching CSI. You know CSI?
Right. Yeah.
And I watched all of them, like the New York one, the Miami one, every single one that there was. And they have a pathologist there who looks at all the bodies by the time that they're dead. It's not like a I guess I would say clinical doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it looked really cool because he was like cutting up bones and all sorts of things. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And we had a friend who was a pathologist at the hospital that we work at. So I did some work experience there, and it was basically looking down slides all day at these, tiny cells where you can never tell the difference between anything. And it was horrible, and I thought, I really don't.
It's quite creepy. I went downstairs once.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Did you like it?
Mm-mm.
No, it was...
No, autopsies for me
Mm.
are a world that I would not like to visit again. I am very glad I had that knowledge.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be a part of my full-time life. Ever.
Yeah, yeah. I think, as with lots of different specialties, you have to be a certain type of person to enjoy that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I just knew that looking down microscopes all day was not my idea of a good time. So when I was in sixth form, just before I started work.
But pathologists, sorry.
Yeah.
I think they did the autopsies. So the pathologists took the samples from the bodies.
So you have two different kinds. You have, I guess you could, I don't want to say like normal pathologists because it sounds rude, but so you have forensic pathologists who do the like CSI things and cut up bodies and look at crime scenes. And then you have just pathologists who look at like slides, and if you take samples from theatres, then they go to pathology and, they look at slides and like when we're looking for, cancers and things. So that's the difference, is that forensic pathology is when someone's been, when a crime has happened, they look at people, and then that's the difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know. Oh, yeah. I love learning, honestly.
Good. Well,
I love this job.
Every day is a school day,
Honestly, I love my job so much.
Good.
And I thought that was so interesting to find like, oh, this person has died because of this.
Yeah.
And they will tell. So it was 2 autopsies on this day. I signed the NDA, so I can't say much.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, basically, they would tell us like, this is this, this is this. Look, they would do like pneumothorax test, and they're
Yeah.
so interested.
Mm-hmm.
I find it an interesting field. However, it's so creepy. I could never do it.
Yeah.
I could just never. No thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that's part of placement, you know, is learning what you enjoy and what's definitely not for you. So I think
yeah,
you're right. It's a really important experience to have, both to kind of get the learning opportunity, which obviously you have, and also to know, actually, I definitely don't want to do this. If you
Yeah.
want to read about it, there's a really interesting, two actually really good books by a guy called Dr. Richard Shepherd, who was a pathologist.
I remember Shepherd from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, totally different person. Totally
one,
different
is it?
person. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, he was a pathologist, and he talks about lots of the different things that he found out. So I'll send you the books because I have them.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly what you're talking about. That he was doing these autopsies and talking about it. Also worked at George's, back when they had a pathology department, which they don't anymore.
So
yeah.
you didn't want to be a pathologist anymore, and then
Yeah, so I realised that I actually like talking to people, and that's the part that I enjoy. It's not, you know, looking at these slides. And yeah, I did some work experience on I think it was the orthopedics ward, and I really liked it. I liked talking to people, and I liked kind of the interaction. So after sixth form, just down the road, I went to work. And I realised that first I was in the ICU, which I enjoyed, and then I moved to theatres, which is where we met, and I enjoyed that too.
yeah,
So yeah,
wow, yeah, unconventional.
yeah,
But
definitely, yeah,
but I feel what you're saying,
yeah,
because sometimes I'm sitting in my lounge and I'm watching 24 Hours in A&E, and I'm like, I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that, and I'm just like,
Guess where 24 Hours in A&E is filmed, or used to be filmed?
St. George's.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I actually thought somewhere
Mm.
in my life I would work there.
Really?
Yeah, I found it so exciting.
Mm.
It's the biggest A&E in the UK.
I think one of the biggest.
One of the biggest?
Yeah, I think there might be a Birmingham hospital, which might be a bit bigger. But
Really?
it's definitely one of the biggest because there's so many different departments.
Yeah.
But I think somewhere like
It's got a lot of
research.
trauma and a lot of
Yeah.
like exciting things coming up.
Yeah, so it's a neuro center, it's a tertiary trauma center,
Yeah.
probably like orthopedics. Some specialty to do with that. So yeah, it's got lots of things going on. Somewhere like recess, I think, will be really exciting to work. That seems like
exciting for us healthcare.
Well, yes, the caveat is that anything that's good for us as healthcare professionals is not good for the patients, but you know, also important to get people who are unwell better fast. So yeah.
It's good that we have this experiences different hospitals.
Oh, definitely.
Well, you definitely have more hospitals than me. Right. For listeners who might not know, what's the path to become a doctor and work in the UK?
So if you go to medical school, I'm not an expert on this by any means, but this, as far as I know, this is what happens. When you go to medical school in the UK, you go through what's called a PMQ, which is a primary medical qualification. So you come out with an MBBS, which stands for Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery. It's just like the base medical qualification. Then you do 2 years, F1 and F2. So I'm about to be an F1.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So proud. So proud.
Thank you. As proud as I am of you for passing your thing. Yeah. And then once you've done F1 and F2, you can apply for core training. So you decide, do you want to do GP? Do you want to do psychiatry? Do you want to do medicine? Do you want to do surgery? And you do core training, which is either 2 or 3 years. And then afterwards, once you finish your core training, you decide what specialty do you want to do. So for example, you've done, I don't know, core surgical training, and you decide, I want to do orthopedics, like breaking bones and things. Well, putting bones back together when they've been broken, but sometimes breaking them to make them better as well. And then you do specialty training, and that can be, you know, up to 5 or 6 years. So yeah, that's the pathway. If you've graduated outside of the UK, there's a slightly different path where you have to do an exam to kind of prove that you're at the same level, but then the pathway is much the same, so you can still apply exactly the same way.
Yeah.
To core training or to specialty training, depending on what sort of level you're at. So yeah, it's a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know it was that long. If you are interested in orthopedics by any chance, there's episode 6. Yes. My God, it's 6. Yes, episode 6 with Dr. Arman Amjad. That he talks about breaking bones and all that stuff and all the pathway to become an orthopedic surgeon. So if you're interested, please go see that episode. Yeah. So,
But then come back and finish this one as well.
Yeah. No, after finishing this one.
Yes.
Because we're really cool as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. So after you do medical school 5 years,
Yeah.
FY1, FY2,
Yeah.
CT. What is it? What is this stands for?
Core training.
Core training.
Yeah.
So core training that can go till 3 years.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years.
And then you become a specialty registrar.
It really depends. Sometimes
it goes so many ways.
Yeah, so sometimes if you're doing obs and gynae, for example, you are a registrar from from your CT2 year, I think. If you're doing like specialty training for most surgical specialties, I believe it's from your specialty training, but I could be wrong. It really depends on what specialty you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It could go anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's go beyond the textbook and talk about the real stuff.
Okay.
The things people don't always say out loud about training to be a doctor.
Yeah.
So, what was the hardest part of medical school that nobody warned you about?
I think, and the caveat is that this is just me talking about how it was at George's. Other medical schools may be different. I don't know. I only have experience of where I went. For me, probably it was that so much is hidden, in the sense that you don't really get told. You get the teaching, but then there are always other things that you need to concentrate on that sometimes you don't get told. And so much of passing exams or making things easier for yourself during sign-offs or during exam season or just during medical school in general, it comes from you knowing people in the years above, and they can tell you, oh, it's best to do this thing, or it's best to choose this placement, or it's best to go here. That's, in terms of George's, that solved a little bit, because there is a George's grad who I don't know where he is now, but he wrote a book essentially about this, talking about how best to utilize your time, essentially, and kind of, I guess you could call it tips and tricks for getting through medical school. It's called Making a Medic. It's pretty good. Obviously, it's Georgia specific, but yeah, that was the difficulty for me. And also, sometimes I think every medical student probably goes through patches of not quite knowing why you chose. Maybe you found this the same. Not quite knowing why you chose to do this career. I think probably it's to do with, I guess, self-confidence. Maybe everyone has a dip every now and then, and it's kind of finding ways to remind yourself why it is that you want to do this career, why you want to do this job, and kind of getting through these, I suppose, peaks and troughs emotionally of medical school.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
And I was going to say something that eventually I've forgotten. But yeah, basically I was talking to someone the other day, and I was just talking about, I think medical school might be quick interest you have, and are eager to become, because of so many factors. The status, because it's interesting, because it's a fixed career, you will most likely get a job, everyone will want you, and you can work anywhere in the world. Apart from that, when you are starting your career, well, obviously I'm no expert, but this is what I came across in my journey. And I feel like every time that you go to a shift, you are bombarded with adrenaline, with trauma, and you have to kind of like save the day. So I think these careers can be very lonely. And if you keep doing it, you will get addicted to this adrenaline rush. And you will get addicted to be needed, because you are needed. Everyone loves you. Does it make sense? So I feel like at some point the essence of what you want has changed. You, yeah, basically that.
Yeah.
And I find it so addictive. It's
Yeah.
difficult. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, what am I doing in my house? I could just go see what's happening
Yeah.
out there.
Oh, that's dangerous. You don't want to be giving any more time to your job than you already are.
I know. I find it difficult. Like now that I'm finishing, find it difficult to detach because I spent like 4 years of my life in the hospital. So now it's just like a little break. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So here is a very difficult question. What's one unpopular opinion you have about medical training or healthcare culture?
You asked me this before, and I said I would think about it, and I haven't actually come up with anything. I don't know. In terms of healthcare culture,
I'll answer.
Okay, you answer and I'll think about it. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So for me, unpopular opinion is, I don't know if people realize how traumatic this can be. Seeing someone die in front of you when you never saw it before, or well, will become part of your daily life, and that's crazy. So I think they should teach us a bit more in the nursing training and healthcare training how popular this happen, not popular, how often this happens, and how you should deal with it. So there's many cope mechanisms, and I feel like people aren't talking enough about this, and for me is the biggest struggle. I would say. Yeah, I would say is the most traumatic one. Like seeing someone die in front of you, and then the family starts screaming of pain. To see that happening is something that I was never, like, I don't know, it just didn't cross my mind. I just thought I would be happy and making people healthier with paracetamol. I don't know, I'm so delusional.
No, I don't.
I thought it would be like simple like that.
I don't think it's delusional. I think it's something a lot of people don't want to talk about, to be honest. And I think it's often as well, what makes it worse is that you see these horrible things that happen, and then you have no time to process it or think about it or even really talk about it, and you're on to the next patient because you have to be. So often I think these kind of traumas can stack up as well. But yeah, I would agree. I think it's something that, because of, unfortunately, the pressures on the NHS at the moment, you just have to keep going, and you almost in a way become a bit desensitized to it, which is awful, but at the end of the day you have to stay sane, you have to keep going.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't feel like it's easy,
Yeah,
but you will get through it because everyone does. You will also do it. Just keep the focus on, because everything in life is about consistency that will lead to your success. It's not about the best grades. She didn't have the best grades. I'm not gonna go to fight with the best grades. There's no shame because she's a doctor and I'm a nurse. Nobody will care about your grades anymore, I don't think.
no.
So actually, if you want to pick your specialty, you need the grades, isn't it?
You kind of do, but later on in other exams that you do.
Right, so this doesn't matter.
Oh no, this doesn't matter now.
This doesn't matter. So just stick through it, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
What's something you've experienced in healthcare that deeply changed you?
Ooh,
deep question.
I'm not going to be able to talk about like a specific example because I can't think of one that quickly, but I would say, I don't know if you have the same. Do you have to do reflections? You have to write reflections. Yeah. So we have to do that too, and it's always a nightmare because it's like you just think this is just what I do all the time, and you have to write things like seeing this patient die makes me feel sad, and you think, well, of course it does. It's silly if it doesn't. But I think the things that change you and change your actual practice and the way that you look at what you do are not these reflections that you write down formally, where you sit down and you think about what to write and then you write it down. Oh, it has to be 600 words or whatever it is.
has to. Yeah, that's the thing.
It's just these tiny interactions that you have every day, and certainly the things that I've had some really big reflections about, things that I've thought about for weeks afterwards, have been small well, not, I guess you could say smaller things that have happened during placement or during practice, that you go away, or something that someone has said to you and you go away and you think, oh, actually that makes a big difference. So often it will be children, something happens with children, or you see a child on placement for whatever reason, and then you think about what happened, and it kind of almost brews in your mind for a few days or a few weeks, and then that's when you change. I'm trying to think of something specific which happened.
So let's think about Zhenya before she started and now. What do you think it has changed?
Huge change. I would say I think I'm much calmer. I feel a lot more confident in maybe not so much like in medicine, but I think a lot more confident in my own skill to be able to maybe not have an answer immediately, but to get to, say, a preliminary answer or something that I think, and then be able to talk about it to someone. A lot more confident in, like, I was always the kind of person that enjoyed practical skills more. So I love taking blood, I love doing cannulas, like anything where you can get your hands on a patient. That's what I enjoy a lot more than any kind of lectures where you learn about 17 different pathways. So definitely a lot more confident in skills like that, where I mean, obviously it varies, as I'm sure it does with you, when you haven't been on the wards for a while and they ask you to go and put in a cannula for the first time in like 6 months, and you're trembling when you put it in, you're like, oh my god, am I going to get this? But yeah, certainly a lot more confident in things like that. And I would say just, I mean, I hesitate to use the word weathered, but it has been many years of medical school. I feel a lot more different, and I do feel a lot more experienced just from the things that I've seen. The only caveat, obviously, is that I don't have experience of working as a doctor. My experience is in working in theatres, but hopefully that will come with time, or it will come with time.
Yeah. Wow. It is a big change, isn't it?
For sure.
5 years ago, 25 years old, starting med school.
Yeah.
Crazy. What's something you've experienced in healthcare that burned you out?
So this is going back now to before I went to medical school, actually. I'm quite lucky, I would say, in that I don't feel like I burned out in medical school, really. But certainly just before I left to go to medical school, I'd been working in the unit that we both work in for a year and a half at that point. And like, I enjoy my job. But in the space of about a month, I lost 10 kilos and I had nightmares every night for probably about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then I left to do my foundation year. So that came at a really good time. I think just the pressure of working and I was doing a lot of shifts. I think that's what did it. And not taking enough holiday. So if you work for the NHS, take your annual leave, because no one is going to make you take it, and you don't want to lose it for sure. So I think that's what it is. That was burnout for me, really. And it took probably about a year for me to figure out what had happened, because I was like, well, I just lost all this weight. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm slim now. But it turned out that it wasn't for a healthy reason at all.
Yeah. It's crazy. So what was your cope mechanism? What did you do to overcome that?
So I took time away. I think it's really important to take time away from whatever, even if you absolutely adore your job, I think it's really important to take some time away.
Yes.
just kind of detach yourself from medicine entirely, not even think about where it is that you're working. I suppose just doing things outside of medicine, really. I went on holiday. I actually had 2 holidays that year, both to warm countries, which really helps. And what else? Yeah, I think that's
A
probably
break in
it.
the routine makes
Yeah,
it change.
definitely it does. Yeah.
What do you wish people understood about mental pressure of this job?
Oh, so much. The fact that I think when you see someone in the NHS, particularly like in the ED, which is, I believe, where you're going to work.
Well, I hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the aim.
Well, I'm sure you'll get there. Or, when you go and see a specialist in a clinic, I think people think that we are the people that dictate how long they wait, or, we are the people that are like booking their appointments. And that's not true. The people who are working frontline would love nothing more than to see you immediately as soon as you have a problem. But unfortunately, that's not the way that it works. And all of us want to help you so badly. That's why we come to work every day. We choose this job because we want to make you feel better. But I think people think that we are purposely taking time, or we're purposely, I don't know, making you wait for longer than you have to. That's not the case at all. And it's really difficult for us as well to see how long that how long you have to wait, and how the NHS has changed because there's less money, and all of these things which are impacting on your care. We don't like seeing that either. So I think that's probably what people don't see, is that we are struggling too, because we can't give you the care that you deserve. I certainly struggle with that at the moment, because I see how things have changed, and unfortunately it's not in a positive direction. But
Yeah,
we can hope that things will get better.
Changing.
For sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've seen it as well.
just a little bit.
Yeah,
but not too much. But because I didn't know how it was, because I didn't move here many years ago. I moved here 6 years ago.
Okay.
So I only worked for the NHS for like 2.5 years. But I never had to come to the service.
Yeah.
Because fortunately I was healthy. So I never had to use the service, so I never experienced none of this. So yeah. So if you could redesign the way medicine is taught, what would you do differently?
I would get rid of all the hoop jumping that we have to do. As with nursing, I'm sure there's a lot of things that you have to do in medical school which are, I hesitate to call it a formality, but it's something that you have to do again and again and again, year on year. And it's difficult sometimes. You're filling in forms and doing things that you would rather spend your time on placement or learning skills, but you have to do it. I've literally just thought as well, the one thing that I would change is that I would make e-learning transferable, because that would save so much time for everyone. Just do one e-learning, and then you can take it to any hospital that you go to.
That'd be so nice.
That would save so much time.
And it should be like universal, like the system that we use.
Yeah.
Well, it should be the same for every hospital.
Yeah.
Because it does take forever to learn the system.
Oh yeah.
So there's a I think Epic is so good. So in our trust we use Epic, but then in the other hospital I'm doing the rotation, we use Metavision.
Okay, I don't know that one.
So yeah, we use Metavision. And then we use Lorenzo. So it's two different ones that complement each other.
Yeah.
So it's just so much easier, isn't it?
I think things would be so much easier if we had one system, because you could see everyone's scans, you could see everyone's letters.
From different hospitals.
Exactly, no matter where they'd been in the country. I remember working for a big NHS trust in central London, and it was in a clinic, and it was like during working hours, like a 9 to 5 essentially job. And I remember opening up 5 different programs to do one clinic. Plus there was 2 different forms that you had to fill in.
That's mad.
I mean, it's just, what is the point?
That is mad.
That is time wasted, that is efficiency wasted. That's where the money is going. It makes no sense. Yeah.
So this is the final question
Okay.
of this interview round. What keeps you going even on your hardest days?
Yeah.
Going out, get drunk, do
hardly,
pottery.
no.
Do you not enjoy it? Going out?
I don't drink anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I stopped almost 2 years ago now.
I'm starting.
Yeah. So I should put that different. I retired from drinking 2 years ago. Let's put it that way.
I've never drunk, and
Yeah.
this year
Yeah, you started.
I've started.
That's-
It's so much fun.
that's
I
what-
recommend healthily, just a few days of the year, month, whatever.
Yeah.
That is healthy. Balance is healthy.
Yeah.
I'm loving this phase of my new life.
Great.
But I'm happy for you. Well done to you.
Oh, thank you, thank
quitting
you.
this fun life. It
Yeah.
must be painful.
No,
But I had
enjoy
so
it.
much fun, even when I was not drunk.
Yeah.
Always did. So
Yeah,
you go out and get drunk, or you just don't go out at all?
Well, yeah, I've realised that I don't like going out. I don't like when there's loud music and you can't hear other people talking. I'd rather go to a pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess yes, I do go out, but just not to like clubs and
to
things.
the right places.
Yeah, exactly. To the right places. Yeah.
And then you do ice skating.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
They've got one
it's good.
in this town as well.
Yes, we have a big skating rink now,
Have
which
you
is
been?
exciting. Yeah, it's really nice.
They do DJ nights
Really?
where they put lights on
Oh,
and then
that's
you do
cool.
ice skating.
Oh, that's cool.
They put actual music.
Nice.
So exciting.
We should go.
We should definitely. Can we please? It's on my list to do in this town.
Yeah,
before
it's
I
great.
leave.
It's great.
If I ever get to leave, because it's too comfortable now. I'm getting too comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Which is fantastic. It took me a long time to get here.
Good.
Right.
Good. I mean, I would say that's not the thing that keeps me going though. In answer to the actual question, probably it's seeing patients when they're unwell, when they come in and they have pain or whatever it is that they have, and then you do something or you say something and they feel better, and then eventually sometimes you can discharge them, or sometimes you don't discharge them, but seeing kind of them getting better and the progression is definitely something that's, I think, really rewarding. And I suppose I think you probably see more of that because you're more involved. I would say hands-on in care.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm not working there. I'm doing my placement.
Yeah.
I've got 14 shifts, as I said before, so I still got a few days. But since I've started my placement, there's literally been patients that have been there since I started. And then the other day I went to the ward, and I was, you get given a patient because it's one-to-one care. And I couldn't believe that was the same person.
Really?
Because they get really people get really puffy with all the drugs and all the hemodynamic neurological preservation. So you need to kind of keep the fluid. So they really look puffy, and all the drugs and all the trauma they had. And then seeing them extubated, normal, talking with their glasses on, I'm like, pardon? Who are you?
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
It's lovely. Honestly, I could say what is what keeps me going. Obviously, I like to see my patients getting better.
Yeah.
And then I always do stupid jokes, and I think they laugh, and I think they find me funny. Sometimes when I extubate a patient which is conscious, so they have to be conscious and going well with the saturations and lung function.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see a person that's conscious intubated. So then I say, when I extubate them, I say, well, after I take this tube, you have to sing for me. And they start laughing, So it's what keeps me going, this little, I'm not a comedian like you, but
I'm not either. But I got this feedback one year from one of my seniors where, so I do the same thing. I, like, every single patient encounter that I have, I'm like, I want to make them laugh at some point. And I also do stupid jokes all the time, maybe a little bit too much. But so my senior had to come with me. It was like an examination of some sort. I don't remember what it was. And I made some stupid joke to the patient. Patient laughed. Great. Finished the examination. And we went back to the ward, and my senior was like, that wasn't the best examination I've ever seen, but, which is fair, but patients are miserable when they come to hospital, right? They're in pain, something is happening, they're not happy to be there. It's very rare that people actually laugh, and I think that's so important that, you know, you're not joking all the time, because obviously it's a serious job, you know, not making fun of that at all. But to have some light relief, even just like a silly joke that you just thought of, you know, when I take blood and I can't always find the vein, I'm always like, oh, you've hidden your veins from me. Like silly jokes like that. I think it's actually so important, and I think you're doing a great job if you also have space for that while you're doing care. Because, you know, he was right, patients often don't laugh in hospital, and maybe they need a little bit of that to make their time there easier.
So true. Thank you. That was very true.
Well,
very
I'm validating you.
A good joke is always so important.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Right. So we've hidden the last part of our podcast, which is quick fire round. Woo! I'm gonna show some fires here. This place is burning. So basically, I've got you've got no time to lose, and with this fire round, whatever comes to your mind, there's no second guessing.
Okay.
You ready?
No, but go for it.
Night shift snack of choice.
Ooh, dried strawberries.
Really?
Mm.
Dried strawberries. Sorry, but
yeah,
like...
you know the I think it's called Bear Fruit now.
Right.
Yeah, you can find them in Tesco. They're really good. They're very addictive.
Tesco, please. Also sponsor.
Yes, another sponsor.
A medical TV show you love to hate.
Oh, Grey's Anatomy. Oh my god, I hate it so much. I hate it, even though Henry Gray, who wrote Grey's Anatomy, the textbook, went to George's. Yeah,
amazing.
Very famous people went there. Yeah, Grey's Anatomy. No, I hate it. I'm sorry. It's so unrealistic and so silly, because in real life, this is a real point that I always make. In real life, you never have people doing like all surgeries all the time. You have to specialize because you can't know everything all the time. And in Grey's Anatomy, they're always doing everything. They're always doing like transplant, something vascular, something cardiothoracic, like something orthopedic. That would just
trauma.
ED, that would just never happen. It's just ridiculous.
Sweet or savory? Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Dream dinner guest, dead or alive?
Oh,
dead or alive seem like it could be dead, like it could have died already.
Oh,
it's not dead past.
Andrew Scott.
Right. Which is
the actor. You watched Sherlock Holmes, the BBC version?
Yes.
Moriarty?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
One thing you wish someone told you before FY1?
I mean, I haven't started F1, but I don't know. I guess you'll have to come back to that once I've started.
Okay.
We'll see how those night shifts go, I guess.
You've got a few coming.
Well, yes.
Your comfort meal?
Katsu curry.
One thing always in your pocket at work?
Oh, lip balm. Yeah.
Yes.
The aloe vera Vaseline, I'm obsessed with it. And if you work in the NHS, this is a tip for you, always a pen, and don't ever let anyone else use it.
No.
Always a pen. NHS tip, always carry a pen. Don't ever give it away to anyone. Pens are like gold dust.
Favorite way to unwind?
I like to take a bath with a sparkly bath bomb.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah, from
From
Lush.
Lush.
Yeah. Yes, you know.
I love Lush, honestly. Worst advice you've ever received?
Or being a surgeon isn't for women because you might have to go and collect your kids from school. I don't want to be a surgeon, but that made me want to be a surgeon.
Yeah.
Just to spite that person. Yeah, I don't think.
Are you more Grey's Anatomy or This Is Going to Hurt?
Oh, This Is Going to Hurt, for sure.
I love that book. Is that a movie?
It's a TV show.
Is it?
Yeah, with
I've
Ben
only
Whishaw.
read the the book.
Yeah.
And I've met the brother of that man on a airplane.
Really?
He's very proud saying about
No
talking
way.
about
Yeah.
You might be a liar as well if you're there.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully not. That's a bit of a strange lie. You would say you're like George Clooney's brother, no? Instead of some doctor not everyone has heard of.
People are weird as with me.
Well, yes, exactly. I went to see him in our city, probably like a year before I went off to medical school. But no, it wasn't a year because I'd already got the like confirmation, and he was good the first time. I'm gonna, maybe this is another unpopular opinion. So I've been to see him 4 times in the last 6 years, and the material is the same every time.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not a professional comedy writer. You know, it's hard to have enough material for a show
All this time.
but yes, I think
Do better, Adam K. Do better.
Well, it wasn't me that said it, but yeah. And I had the book, This Is Gonna Hurt, and I brought it with me the very first time. I was like, I went to get it signed. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna go off to medical school.
I've got the book here.
You do?
It's just there.
Oh, fantastic. And I said, I'm gonna go off to medical school. I don't even know what I expected, but I guess I thought he'd say, oh, great or something. And he was like, oh, okay, fine. And then just signed it, and I went. So
Wow. Very vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure what I was expecting, but it was a little bit of a disappointment. But, also very important for bringing a lot of, again, what we don't talk about in healthcare to the forefront, talking about doctors' mental health, talking about doctor suicide, which is awful and should not happen, I think, in a developed country or even an undeveloped country for that matter. And, I think for all of his faults, I think he's done a fantastic job. And, so many people watch This Is Gonna Hurt, and so many of my friends and relatives who are not affiliated with healthcare in any way messaged me or called me and were like, is that really what doctors are like? Is that really what, training doctors are treated as? Which unfortunately is true in a lot of places.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Well, again, thank you for having me.
Thank you for bringing honesty, humor, and depth today. From medical school madness to the reality of being a new doctor. This episode is proof that even superheroes in scrubs need space to be human. This is Nurse Studio, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Oh, cute.
That's it.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Was I okay? No! You broke your own rule! I was so careful the whole time.
I'm gonna put a beep. I can't believe it.